It was a bright, sunny South Florida day in early February of 1997. Now, any self-respecting New Yorker would have reveled in the opportunity to become a Floridian on this day. But my move-in day was one of the most horrifically memorable days of my entire life. Upon arrival, being so excited that my new home was two-story, I explored the second story of the house. And the first time I had ever descended the stairs, I tripped and tumbled down the entire staircase, realizing that's definitely the fastest way to go down the stairs. Eventually, I was playing on the downstairs of my house, and I strayed a little bit too close to the kitchen, and I stood up and popped my head onto the refrigerator door, cracking my head open. Luckily, I didn't require any stitches, but I was in a turbid state of mind when I had that headache. Eventually, my headache had subsided, and I decided to go outside and play with my sister. I vividly remember trying to keep pace with her on my bicycle as my training wheels began teetering and tottering, and I tilted to the left and fell into a queen red ant pile. Being that this was the first ever encounter that I had with these critters, I can assure you that they left their mark. Eventually, I fell asleep in my brand new bedroom. Everything seemed fine like any other night, when I was rudely awakened by the most terrifying nightmare of my entire life. I woke up and I stood and I started spinning around the room searching for the door, but to no avail. I couldn't find the door of my new bedroom. I started crying out for my family, "Help, please!" And I was crying hysterical. It was awful. It was the worst. But I look back on this day with a big smile on my face because the move from New York to Florida was one of the greatest things that had ever happened to me. Throughout my adolescence, I learned and discovered the covenants of my character that I would like to convey to you this evening. First, I have a large humor appeal. I love to laugh, and I love to make others laugh. Second, I pride myself on being honest and having integrity. And third, I am driven by dreams. Throughout the course of this speech, I would like to convey these covenants of my character to you in an effective manner, and while at the same time entertaining you in the process. Now, entertaining people is something that I've always had somewhat of an affinity towards. I became cognizant of this in the third grade when tasked with an assignment to fill out a questionnaire. One of the questions stated, "What is something that you achieved today that makes you happy?" It didn't take me long to think of the answer to this question, and I replied, "I made my friends laugh at lunch today." It was always my mission to make my friends laugh, even more so than it was to get A's on tests. But I can assure you that all my hard work paid off, because by the time I graduated high school, I was anointed class clown, my single greatest achievement to this day. But it is much more so than about my personal achievement as it was continuing in a family tradition. You see, my father was class clown, my Uncle Mark was class clown, and my Uncle Greg would have been class clown if he attended school as regularly as his brothers did. Someone that always attended school is my mother. She's one of the smartest people that I've ever met. Her family always instilled in her to have hard work ethic, to be honest, and to have integrity. Now, I want to take you back to the school cafeteria for a moment, but this time I'm in middle school. And I began to notice that day after day after day, my peers would entrust me their open can of soda or a bag of chips as they returned to the lunch line or went to the restroom. It was because they, one, knew I wouldn't consume their goods, and two, they knew I wouldn't tamper with it, which is unfortunately all too common at the middle school age. Now, to me, this was much more than about preserving Paula's Pepsi, as it was about being counted on by my peers. Once I had gained the trust of an individual, I never wanted to relinquish that, and that's something that I've tried to convert from my personal life to my professional life, and it's something that I practice each and every day. My family always encouraged me to be honest and to behave with integrity. Something my family also encouraged me to do was to dream and to live my dreams. My great-grandmother Mary, at the age of 16, moved from Italy to New York City at the age of 16 by herself with nothing more than $30 in hand and a dream in mind. She was able to run her own business, own her own home, and have her own family. Welcome. She is still the source of my inspiration to dream to this very day. In a previous Toastmasters speech, I admitted that as a youngster, I dreamed of being a professional baseball player. Once I learned how to play the drums, I dreamed of being a rock star. Later in life, I dreamt that I would have my own family and being a loving husband and a caring father. And my most recent dream, as ambitious as it may be, is to become the President of the United States of America. But not just because that's really what I want to do, but because I believe that if we all work together, we could really make this world a better place. And what a better place to conclude my icebreaker speech than at this very moment. I hope that I was able to effectively convey the covenants of my character to you this evening. They include having a humor appeal, priding myself on being honest and having integrity, and being driven by my dreams. I want to thank each and every one of you for being my humble audience this evening. I am confident that by joining Toastmasters and presenting my first speech in front of you here tonight, I am one step closer to achieving my dreams. Thank you.